Have you ever felt frustrated because you know there's a pattern, but you cannot see it clearly? Maybe you have felt angry that you keep hitting the same wall time and time again, and you know there is something, but you cannot seem to point what is it. Maybe you have asked yourself, why do I keep doing this if I already know better? Why do I feel disappointed, like life isn't moving the way I thought it would? Why do I feel frustrated even though I've done the work? And then someone says, well, you just need more awareness. Okay, friend, but how? How do you actually become aware? That's what we're talking about today. Awareness isn't something you do, it is something that becomes available when you're ready to see. And that's where the real conversation is. However, before we move forward to talk all about awareness, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been leaving reviews and sharing the podcast. And if you've been listening for a while and something here keeps landing for you, I want you to know awareness is beautiful, but integration happens inside containers. My private coaching is open by invitation because I cannot take a lot of people. And She Who Aligns, which is the guided blueprint I wrote, walks you step by step through Align in a structured way. And both of them are going to be linked in the show notes for you. So you can choose which one is better at this point in your life. And if you have 30 seconds of your time after you listen to this episode, you can go ahead and leave me your review. Okay, my friend, let's start with this juicy topic. If you're tired of feeling stuck, disconnected, or held back by old beliefs, and you're ready to start living in alignment with your deepest values, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Michelle Marie, spiritual neurocoach, cancer survivor, and twin mompreneur. On Rewire to Align, I share the neuroscience and spiritual practices that help me transform my own life, guiding you to release limiting beliefs, rewire your mind, and step fully into your sovereignty. Are you ready to live in alignment with who you truly are? Let's rewire, align, and manifest. Hi, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Rewire to Align. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Michelle Marie, and I'm your favorite neuro-spiritual alignment coach. Did you notice that I changed my title a little bit? Yes, friend. After taking into consideration everything that I'm doing and my Align Formula framework, this feels right for what I do and for all the experience that I have. Every week, we come together here to talk about living a life that is in alignment to our essence. And we also talk about ways on how to get there using neuroscience, using spirituality, and other beautiful tools that I love and that have helped me in my own journey. Before going further, I want to let you know this is episode 66, and it will be under the neuromindset category in the podcast catalog that is linked in the show notes. Okay, amiga, let's get to it and let's be honest. You've probably been living the same pattern for years. It didn't feel like a pattern, right? Because sometimes we don't see it. It feels like you. And although you might have missed this for a couple of years, all of a sudden, or at this season in your life, you feel different. Something does not sit right. And here's the truth. Most patterns don't feel like patterns. They feel like your personality. You cannot become aware of something that still feels like your personality. You only become aware when there's enough friction, enough discomfort and frustration that you feel, and your brain all of a sudden is like, whoops, I'm finally willing to see what is happening here. Not before that. So let me start with a little story because that's how I like to start my episodes. I love this show named Shrinking. It's on Apple TV and it's all about 3 psychologists and their patients and their lives. That's my current jam, friend. Don't judge. I mean, besides Emily in Paris. And one of the episodes that I saw recently, there is this scene where one of the therapists is asking this new patient that got referred to her, and she said, well, tell me, why are you here? And the patient just freezes. She cannot answer. Well, actually, the truth is that she said, people say I have a dark cloud all over me lately. But the truth is that she doesn't know what is happening. She doesn't know why. She doesn't know. She stays there blank. And that scene stayed with me, and I say, oh my God, in my Galentine's celebration that I told you the other day, I don't know, 2 episodes ago, I talked to you about my Galentine celebration. There was one question that came up, and it was the question, how to become aware? And that's how awareness actually starts. Listen, between the episode and the question that I was asked in my Galentine celebration, I said, you know what? I'm going to just jump in the podcast and talk about this topic. And when awareness starts, it's not this glamorous aha moment. It's not journaling with candles and incense and all the good stuff. It's not labeling your attachment style, although you might want to explore that. It's that uncomfortable, quiet realization of something feels off, but I cannot name it. And here's the part nobody tells you. When you cannot name it, what happens is that you start blaming yourself. You start saying to yourself, well, maybe I'm ungrateful or dramatic, or maybe this is just how life is. Maybe I'm the problem. But what's really happening is that your energetics are misaligned. And you know how I love to talk about energetics because we have an emotional, a physical, a spiritual, and a mental body. Your nervous system is dysregulated. And if we go back to Shrinking, that beautiful and very funny show, they will say, because they are psychologists, that you are experiencing cognitive dissonance. And what this means is that your subconscious is executing a learned behavior that your conscious awareness is now beginning to reject. And that woman in the show, she wasn't unaware. She kind of knew. She was at the edge of awareness. That's why she looked for help. And there's a difference, and maybe that's where you are too, just at the edge of finally seeing things clearly. And that's actually amazing, friend, because that's where you can move forward to being aware. Have you ever wondered why you keep doing the same things over and over and over, even when they don't work? It's because your brain is on autopilot. Your brain loves what's familiar. And you know this because I mentioned this before. It wants to keep you safe, even if that familiar thing is unhealthy. This is normal brain automation. Your amygdala, which is the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, spots a familiar situation. Your hippocampus digs up an old memory, and your nervous system screams, stay here. We survived this before. This is what's happening in the big picture. And if you want to dig into neuroessentials, you can look it up in the episode catalog. There are plenty of episodes that will help you understand the different areas of the brain. Awareness is simply waking up and interrupting that script that you are playing in your head. It's moving from reacting to observing. It's noticing, oh, I always shut down here, or I always get loud here. That moment of noticing, that is pure awareness. And in my aligned framework, that's phase 1. But awareness is not alignment, friend. Alignment is coherence. Alignment is when your thoughts, your nervous system, your subconscious patterns, and your actions are working together, not fighting each other. Awareness exposes all the mismatch that is happening. Spiritually, awareness is consciousness witnessing itself. neurologically your conscious mind stepping in to take over your automatic survival instincts. And energetically, it feels like friction before clarity. Emotionally, it often shows up as frustration, anger, bitterness, or disappointment. And those are not personality traits, they are feedback. You truly don't ask, how do I become aware? Unless something already feels misaligned. And I'm going to let that land because maybe this is the stage where you're at right now, where you are feeling a little bit misaligned, but you don't understand what's happening. That is what's happening. The desire for more, that's awareness knocking. The irritation you feel, that's awareness knocking. The feeling of this is not it, that's awareness knocking, amiga. Listen, 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 Linda. I'm just kidding. But listen, this is where stepping up as your own leader comes in. Just knowing why you do something, which is the awareness, that is great, but it doesn't actually change the behavior. It doesn't rewire the behavior. That's the difference between just reading self help books, right? Going to all the seminars and actually living in alignment. If your nervous system does not feel safe with a new way of doing things, it's going to panic and it's going to crawl back to the old comfortable habits that it knows. That's literally why you can totally analyze your childhood traumas, but then you go and act crazy like a crazy person in the same situations. Awareness without actually doing the healing work just make you more annoyed. But awareness plus a game plan, the structure, right? That's how you actually transform. Look, if you're listening to me and now you're sitting there, wherever you are, I don't know where you are, but if you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, Michelle, I totally see my toxic patterns. I just literally cannot stop doing them. Do me a favor and take a breath. Take a deep breath. You're not failing at self growth. You're actually right on the edge of a breakthrough. But listen, staying on that edge without support is shaky, shaky. Listening to podcasts like this one or reading great books is great for the wow, aha moments. But the real deal identity shifts, they need a safe place to land these identity shifts. In my coaching, we don't just chat about your habits. We work on stabilizing your nervous system so your brain doesn't freak out while you're becoming a new version of yourself, or better yet, while you are returning to your essence. Because I need to always correct myself. I don't like to say becoming a new version of yourself. You are returning to your essence. And inside She Who Aligns, which is the guided blueprint that you can purchase and download instantly, I use the Align framework to take you from just being aware to actually living it through liberation, integration, grounding and growth, and next level embodiment. Awareness by itself is just a mood. Alignment is when it's actually in your body. If you felt that in your soul, you already know what to do, friend. Do you want me to send you the link to apply for the next coaching cohort that I have open? Or maybe we can chat through your specific patterns first. Either way, you are more than welcome to send me a DM on Instagram at Michelle Maripacheco, and we'll see if coaching is right for you. Beautiful soul, I have to leave you now. But before I leave you and you go back to your beautiful day, today we clarified something important. Awareness is not something you force. It emerges when friction becomes undeniable. It begins when something stops feeling like you and starts feeling misaligned, like you know that you need to change. We talk about how patterns feel like personality until they don't. We talk about the edge between not knowing and finally seeing. And we clarify the difference between awareness and alignment. Awareness exposes, alignment integrates. And we also talk about how awareness is the first phase inside align. Is the moment coherence starts to return. The moment your nervous system, your subconscious, and your conscious mind begin to line up. And listen, awareness is not self-criticism. It is self-recognition. And that shift changes everything, okay? If something in this episode felt uncomfortable, good, I'm doing my job. That usually means that you are over there in that edge of finally seeing things clearly. And if you want to share what you're starting to see, you can always hang out with me on Instagram at Michelle Marie Pacheco and have a chat. Or if you want to reflect in community with other like-minded women, you can always come to Rewire to Align private Facebook community. Sometimes naming it out loud is the moment it becomes real. And if you're at that edge where you know something is ready to shift, but you cannot quite access it alone, come to my container. Awareness is the door, but integration is what changes your life. And everything is going to be linked in the show notes for you to explore. Amiga Bella, beautiful friend. This week, when you're out there and you are put in situations or you're being triggered or tested, whatever is happening out there during your week, instead of asking, how do I fix this? Ask yourself, what am I finally ready to see? What am I finally ready to see? Alignment begins the moment you stop performing your personality and start observing it. That's how you rewire. That's how you align. And that's how you build a life that actually feels like yours. I'm sending you lots of love. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I love creating it. If what you heard today resonated with you, the best way to support the show is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback helps me continue creating content that empowers you and deepens your spiritual connection. Just scroll down to write a review and share your thoughts. And if you love what Rewire to Align is about, share it with your friends and family. I truly believe the world transforms when we come together to create positive change. I look forward to be with you again next week.